The courtroom was packed beyond capacity. Rows of spectators leaned forward in their seats, eager to witness one of the most controversial trials in recent history. The air buzzed with an electric tension, thick and suffocating. On one side stood JD Vance, a polished, confident senator with a loyal following. On the other side sat Judge Marcus Reynolds, a figure feared for his brutal honesty and unrelenting judicial style. The courtroom's grand wooden architecture, adorned with symbols of justice and authority, only amplified the intensity. Cameras lined the back wall, capturing every second of this high-stakes showdown. It wasn't just a trial, it was a spectacle. Vance, accused of corruption and conspiracy, stood calmly, his hands clasped in front of him. His supporters whispered words of encouragement while his opponents smirked. Everyone wanted to see what would happen next. Judge Reynolds, known for his merciless judgments, looked at Vance like a lion eyeing its prey. The judge strikes first. The trial began, and Judge Reynolds wasted no time. His voice boomed, "Senator Vance, you are accused of manipulating the justice system for your political gain. How do you plead?" Vance's lawyer began to speak, but the judge cut him off. "I'm asking the senator, not his mouthpiece." Vance took a deep breath and replied, "Not guilty, Your Honor." The judge scoffed. His glare was piercing. "You think the people will believe that after everything you've done?" His voice dripped with venom. Vance, unwavering, responded, "The people deserve the truth, not your personal vendetta." A ripple of murmurs ran through the crowd. The tension escalated. It was clear, this wasn't a regular trial. This was a battlefield. The judge leaned forward, his face a shade darker. He was losing his temper, and the entire courtroom could feel it. The outburst. Suddenly, Judge Reynolds exploded. "I will never respect Trump's new DCK skr." His words slammed into the courtroom like a hammer. Gasps erupted from the gallery. The courtroom fell into stunned silence. Reporters frantically scribbled notes. Vance stood still, his eyes narrowing. He wasn't shocked, he was ready. "Your Honor," Vance said slowly, "is this a court of law or your personal soapbox?" The judge's face turned crimson. His hand slammed down on the gavel so hard that it cracked. The sound echoed like a gunshot. "You're a disgrace to this country," Reynolds roared. The room felt like it might burst. People stared, unsure whether they were witnessing justice or a complete breakdown of it. The unexpected twist. Before anyone could process what had just happened, the heavy wooden doors of the courtroom swung open. The sharp stomp of boots echoed. U.S. Marshals walked in, led by a senior officer. Judge Reynolds, the officer's voice was steady, "You are hereby placed under arrest for obstruction of justice, judicial misconduct, and abuse of power." The courtroom gasped again, louder this time. The color drained from Reynolds' face. His gavel fell from his hand, landing on the floor with a hollow thud. This is my courtroom," he barked, but his voice wavered. The officer didn't flinch. "Not anymore, Your." The fall from grace. The marshals moved forward, cuffing Judge Reynolds. The once untouchable figure now looked small, vulnerable. His black robes hung awkwardly as they led him away. The same man who ruled this courtroom with an iron fist was now a prisoner in it. The cameras zoomed in, capturing every second of his humiliation. Vance watched quietly, his face unreadable. He didn't smirk or gloat. He simply stood tall, the man who endured. The spectators, once divided, now seemed united by the sheer shock of what they had witnessed. Reynolds turned one last time to Vance. His eyes, once blazing with fury, now looked hollow. The aftermath. As the doors closed behind the disgraced judge, the courtroom sat in stunned silence. Vance turned to the jury, his voice steady but compassionate. "This trial wasn't about me. It was about justice, real justice. And today, the truth won." The jury members looked at each other, then nodded slowly. Even those who doubted him seemed to understand now. The courtroom erupted into applause. People stood, cheering. Reporters pushed forward, shouting questions, but Vance didn't stop to answer. He walked out, head high, shoulders squared. He didn't need to say more. His actions spoke louder than any words ever could. A new dawn. Outside the courthouse, the streets were packed. Supporters cheered, holding signs. Opponents stood in quiet disbelief. The media swarmed, but Vance didn't stop for them. He walked past, his mind somewhere else. His team followed, struggling to keep up. The sun was setting, casting a warm glow over the chaos. It felt symbolic, an ending and a beginning all at once. Vance knew this wasn't over. The fight for justice never really ended. But today, they had won a battle that would be remembered for decades to come.